The parts of the woman, what would you say?
I I I really, you know, yeah, a lot of families want to cover that up because they know it's a shameful act. But when we talk about punishment now for the person, at the end of the day, um, I really think we might not get a desired result, and that's why we are where we are today. I know of a story here in Mina of a man who raped a 2-year-old girl. Justice took its course, and after 3 years, he came out of prison. And a few months later, they caught him in the same act. So, how
With the same
long?
child?
No, with a different child. Now, for how long will he keep going to prison, coming out, and committing the same crime? For me, I think rehabilitation is what we should look at. Some people, like I said earlier, it's evil. Yes, you plan it, you execute it. It's devilish. It's the devil's work. But again, some people need some form of rehabilitation. It could be a mental thing. For me, when I heard the story of that man again, I attributed it to a mental state. Because you cannot be punished for a crime. You come out and you are caught committing the same crime. That means you don't mind going to jail over and over and over. That thing is still in him. And until it is fought and settled, he keeps coming. And unfortunately, children are victims. How many people will continue being a victim? For instance, now, the brother-in-law, okay, he's punished, fine. He's actually excommunicated out of the family. He's put into jail. He goes, he serves a jail term. We know how the country is. He can do shortcut and, he's out. And then another child becomes a victim of his. And, it's a circle. It keeps going. It keeps going. So, for me, at that level, fine. Nobody is saying she should not shout. She can shout as much as she can shout. But I think the family also needs to understand the gravity of what the young man has committed.
Yeah.
Because for some family, they might say, it's a normal thing. They might not really understand that it could be their child today. Tomorrow, it could be another person's child.
I'm sorry,
It's okay.
but I beg to disagree, and I'll tell you why I disagree. If the person goes to jail, comes out and carries out the same act, and you talk about rehabilitation, it also faults our social system. Because in the correctional institution, there is supposed to be rehabilitation for them. So now let me tell the story of a popular person that we know, Joyce Meyer, an American preacher. She was abused by her stepfather for years, upward of more than 10 years. She ran away from the house. She fell into rape. She came back to the house. And then the father continued the act. The mother knew. She didn't do anything. Only for years after she was married for the mother to come and apologize to her to say, I knew. But it's just that if I shout, he pushes us out of the house, and then there is no social welfare for us. So that is why I had to keep quiet. But now, what if she had committed suicide because of the trauma of almost every night? This man has his way with you. You can never predict what happens. So what would have happened to her? So that is, and then when you say it should be covered, most times those people don't own up. They don't realize they have done something wrong. Do you understand? So we have got to protect every other child from such kind of people.
Yes.
Do you understand? And then when I say justice should take its course, it may not necessarily mean going to jail and the rest, but then it's something that must be lauded. It's something that everybody must condemn. The man must see himself in the act of what he has done.
Yes.
And then he must be ready to submit to rehabilitation. That is what we are talking about.
It's like a battle between one person's child and another person's child. Yes, your child defiled my child. And then some people don't see the reason, the need to to actually condemn it. It baffles me when parents actually try to stand behind the crime their children have committed. Now, even if he didn't commit the crime, at least a responsible parent will scold the child. They say, if you walk like a thief, you'll be called a thief. Yes. So if probably the person had done something or had gone to, there must be a move he or she had made that would have made him be a suspect. All right? So every responsible parent should be able to say, even if you didn't do this, don't go near this, don't do this. But when you try to sweep it under the carpet, it becomes detrimental to a younger child who is still trying to find his or her place in the society.
And concerning this issue, I would like to say that there is one I know of here in Mina. The parents sent the girl to live with somebody in Abuja who is a family member. And then she was molested by the husband of her supposed sister.
Wow.
The girl ran from there to Mina and why did you come? She couldn't tell. Okay, go back. She said she was not going to go back. They were not sensitive enough. They sent her back. It happened again. Until she had to speak out to say, this is what is happening. And her sister supported her husband against her own sister.
Wow.
Other family member treated her as if she doesn't know what she was talking about. Now she had to go through trauma. She was very aggressive, not talking with anybody. She not greeting anybody when she came back to me and all of that. And now they don't know where she is because she had to run away from the house. So these are things that we are talking about, that when you take side with the perpetrator, you are telling the child that you are nobody, you are nothing.
You're not valued.
You are not valued. Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I want to go back to that responsibility. Okay, we are facing all this now in this generation because I think mothers are losing it. I'm sorry to say I'm a mother. I'm not a perfect mother. But I've seen mothers that are moving on the fast lane. Now, when I say fast lane, at times our children are attracted to this whole molestation thing with the way we dress them. Now, you see, parents, I don't know what is happening, but I have refused to separate myself from the generation I'm coming from. I am a mother from my mother's generation. Yes, my children will tell me that, Mommy, you are old school. I want to be old school. Because that old school is what made us the mothers we are today. Now, I've seen mothers that dress their 3-year-olds like teenagers. I don't know if you have seen it. And men or perpetrators of this act, there are little things that make them commit all these acts. For instance, I saw a child that was wearing heavy makeup, wearing nail polish and all that. I had to talk to the mother. Even though she told me that I'm a cake, I told her, I said, you don't know what you are planting. When it starts germinating, you might not be able. That little, how was your day? What happened in the school? How did it go? You see children abused by drivers and parents don't know. That little time you are